welcome to the World of Ravinia podcast, where we follow the tale of a group of college adventurers learning their trade, the classroom and real world at once. I am Dungeon Master Menville. Our journey continues with the party preparing for their plans during the holiday break from classes. So now let us return to the world of Ravinia. Uh, all right, everybody, welcome back. And to recap, considering it's been a couple of weeks, recap where we last left off. You guys had survived the night of the solstice. Uh, However, in the morning, got to see the much different looking campus in some parts. Uh, Found out that your friend's Prince Sorin is among those that were taken by the fleeing invaders. You got to see Miss Fawnhopper basically held without a mouth, unable to speak, and got to see a rambling, slightly unhinged version of Lord Collingsworth. uh, did find out that among those that were taken prisoner were Barak and Randall Beers, who I believe both of those were encountered by you and Drakei.
Sorry, I muted myself on Discord rather than just hitting my mute switch. Yes,
Okay.
both of them I encountered, and I believe tried to look for during all the commotion, but
Yep. But yeah,
decided against it.
we are up to. I think that would be 6 p.m., but
Yeah, I believe the last thing we were going to do is I was going to get the group together to talk to them at out somewhere private because we were meeting up for dinner, and I believe Gargan did a couple of things, and he was going to tell the group about that. But I
okay. Yes, it's up to
don't know if
6.
Zin or Soul had anything.
Uh, all right. So we got up to 6 p.m. This, I believe, was when you guys were meeting up anyway. So we'll say you guys are all at the mess hall.
Of course, Gargan leaves right when I'm about to say something. I would probably. Well, Gargan's not here, so I don't know what he's going to divulge. Because I was going to ask if anybody's discovered anything since our meeting with Lord Collingworth, but Gargan's not here. He can't really divulge it right now.
Yeah. I think Quark had mostly been exercising and reading and checked on his garden once.
Yep.
Saul, I believe, was mostly reading.
Probably looking for gossip, knowing her.
Probably.
Um, what was Vincent doing?
Hiding?
Oh, you weren't trying to get any information or anything? Spying on certain people?
We'll just say for the while he was gone, he was spending that whole time hiding.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
I know mostly me and Zin were at the prayer hall last time. And
He's back.
I would probably I would definitely tell the group about anybody who was injured during that fight, most of them seem to not be healing of their wounds. Even if you used magic.
I would probably share the information from Mara, her friend, and add that to the conversation as well.
What was the information?
That the wounds weren't healing when I tried to intervene, and Mara's friend is not doing well.
Did someone have a specific question when I was away from there?
Oh, it was pretty much a general question of what everybody was able to figure out today. And I was curious if you were going to divulge anything or not.
Yeah, no, I would obviously I divulge everything that I may or may not remember. But yeah, I think some of the major points was I went to Wilda's lab and I kind of described the goings on there. That it's sort of they have several bodies. Some of the enemies, and it sounds like right now there's no rhyme or reason to sort of their varying resistances. But as best as I could tell, it looks like if it almost like they all had a sort of corresponding vulnerability if they have a resistant, but at the moment can't make heads or tails as far as predicting what that is for any individual. I think DM, I think that's correct, right?
Yeah, there was no. They had not found a direct link between any one thing and another, just that all of them seem to be altered in some way.
And is it was it also noticed like were there some patterns, for example, if they were immune to ice, were they predictably vulnerable to flame, at least for the few numbers that we had?
It seemed that those two commonly paired opposite each other, but there were some that were vulnerable or resistant to flame that had a different element that they were the opposite to.
Immune to, okay. All right, so I share all that with the group, and it looks like it didn't matter what type of creature it was, like if it was an orc or a goblin, perhaps they all,
Uh,
or was it just the orcs?
Primarily, it was the bugbears, the hobgoblins, and the orcs. It seemed the humans that they had brought along seemed to just be
Humans.
brought along as, well, slaves and fodder.
I was going to say mostly the slaves seem to be
The
normal.
goblins were basically left to their own devices to simply
Cause as much
add an
chaos.
element of chaos, pretty much.
Or maybe to distract Lord Collingsworth. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah.
Because we did find out that he got really pissed finding out about those specific goblins. Everything else, nobody was worried about. But as soon as we found out about those goblins and told Miss Fawnhopper, those goblins might have been a distraction so he wouldn't get involved with something else.
And Tobias is missing as well.
Yeah.
Beyond that, it's.
I think now did what I learned about Lord Craggle was that through discussions with Wilder, or does the group know this already? That he was a disgraced noble, his family was banished. They were supplying arms to the residents of.
It wasn't so much disgraced, it's his house opted to
Oh, he was
leave one of
not.
the human kingdoms and set up shop in Longtier, where in a kingdom you are still beholden to the king to pay your taxes, etc. In Longtier, almost every city is its own individual state.
Okay.
There are a few handful of small villages just outside of the largest town there. Actually, I'm not sure if you guys would know that because I don't think you actually figured it out.
Oh, geez, spoiler alert.
Yes. And then I do tell him about that. Who's that head of security that I tried to help with the interrogations?
Captain Jennings or Karen? Captain Jennings is the head of security. Well, or do you mean Martin Breyer, the head of disciplinary action?
Martin Breyer, head of discipline and senior combat. Maybe that's who I went with, right?
Yeah.
And I share the location of that with the group. That the basement of that building. They are interrogating some of the prisoners. Uh,
That were
but
kept alive.
I wasn't particularly useful at getting any new information from them.
Once I hear that, I would probably ask if give a vague description of the two that I know of, Randall and oh my god, I forgot the other guy's name.
Barak.
Barak. If one of those were, if he saw them, or if that was the person he interrogated.
Uh,
Because I have no idea if he would have
I'm
gotten
trying
their
to.
name.
I know Barak definitely wasn't one of them. I'm trying to remember if Randall was one of the ones you were brought near. Because I believe you had mentioned him that you thought this one would be you'd get more out of. But I don't think because that would have been from your spell, right?
Well, it was sort of like an odd situation.
Yeah.
I would cast the spell, but was beholden to uh, Martin as far as what questions to ask. And
Yes.
I didn't get the sense Martin was, you know, he just. I guess the questions he asked were things that spell wasn't going to be able to help with.
Yeah, because you
Well, and
could tell if
I
they're.
believe he did get a save. I believe the target did save at one point as well, which sort of left
Yeah,
you.
yeah, your spell was more for if they're telling the truth or not, right?
Well, it gets surface thoughts, but then they get a saving throw to try and dig deeper.
Ah,
And I think the one saved right away, and the other one, I believe you got a brief dig, but it's a concentration spell, and they saved on the second save.
would Brandel match any of the description of one of the guys he's interrogated?
Uh,
Then again, how much he's going to match it when he's probably been tortured, and that is probably a thing too. But
yeah, it's. He saw a few others there. Gargan, make an intelligence check for me. Just to see if you what details you remember from the multiple deep dives into people's minds. Gargan? Gargan, you're on mute if you're talking.
Oh, hopefully nothing's happening to his computer.
All right, I'll roll it for him. It's not a hard check. I'd say, honestly, a 10 should do it to remember the details. Okay. The description that you're able to give for Randall and what briefly he saw of Randall in the dark the night of the solstice for like 2 seconds before he fled.
Hmm.
Yes, he believes one of them was Randall.
Okay. Okay, so I at least know Randall's still alive.
And that all told, he walked past about 8 to 12 prisoners in cells. Some of them, it's hard to tell their condition. Some of them were under blankets. Some of them could have just been blankets that were clumped up on the floor and nothing was in the cell. But
Okay.
some of them were
Oh.
moving a little more than others. So,
Okay, so he wouldn't be able to tell race from that either if they're under a blanket.
He'd probably be able to tell the hobgoblins because they would have a noticeably larger shape. And there were
Well, half orc would be slightly larger, wouldn't he?
a little larger than a human, not noticeable enough that when you see a clumpled pile of blanket that you'd be able to say, oh, that is clearly.
Okay, that's fair.
But there was one individual that was down there that was significantly larger. Their feet would have been hanging past the bed.
Okay, clearly that might be a giant of some sort. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the size of the beds are. Like, how comfortable do they keep prisoners, really?
Yeah. But yeah, an orc would be, give or take, say 6 foot. A hobgoblin would be 7 to 8 feet. Bugbear would be 7 to 10 feet.
Okay.
But all technically considered medium-sized creatures, I believe.
Oh, wow, really?
I'd have to double check the.
Yeah, I don't remember what height is considered large. I thought it was
Well,
over 7 feet is considered large. I'm just going off of what.
technically a human can be almost 7 feet tall.
That's fair.
But for
Sorry.
Oh,
hobgoblins, I believe they're a medium-sized creature, and I believe bugbears are as well.
Ooh, what looks like it looks like I actually finally had a good roll.
So this was to remember
Pretty psyched.
the information about one of the bugbears are also medium, but they're significantly larger than humans.
yeah.
So yeah, that was to remember what you could about the prisoners you were there to interrogate and others that you might have passed by in the cells to try and.
Yeah.
You
Was
do
it-
recall the one you're pretty sure was Randall
Was there.
that you spoke with.
Mm-hmm.
But without a picture, he can't be for sure.
Yeah, well, he only saw Randall one time, and that was in the dark, about 120, 150 feet away.
Yeah.
For about 10 seconds.
Offset by a roll of 23.
The description he gave you, and at least from the surface thought you got, you believe this person had more information than the average person, and Randall, certainly considering that he was able to go directly up to Lord Craigle without the bugbears responding, seems to be someone who at least had some level of freedom and information. Of the individuals you saw in the cells, it was mostly humans, no goblins. Saw what could have been orcs or half-orcs based on skin color that you could see here and there, and one individual was slightly larger than the others, which you would, from the group that you actually encountered, your best guess would be is the hobgoblin.
Okay. I'd probably say that I if ask the group if they're willing to meet up in maybe who has the largest dorm right now?
Oh.
Dorm room. I think it's Quark, isn't it? Didn't he upgrade his room?
Yeah. I must have
Well, I
said.
guess it doesn't matter the size of the room. Like our rooms could probably fit the whole party in there, right?
Well, it's to have actual sitting area. Does any? I'm trying to remember if anybody else.
I think I did some upgrade to make it easier for others to be there. If I recall, there was some extension, including.
Yeah, I just can't remember who upgraded what.
Was this Gargan or Andrake? I know one
That
of
was
these.
Gargan.
Gargan.
Yeah, I think I upgraded something. I just can't remember what.
My
it is.
room. Ah, there it is.
Yeah, I held off on upgrading until I got more dorm credits.
Yeah, so you did add an extra 10 feet, 10 square feet of space, and an ice box.
Yeah.
So you, I believe, have the largest. You and Soren had the largest rooms, but obviously you're the largest room that's still there.
Yeah, and we can't go to Soren's.
I think I expressly did it so there'd be a place to meet.
So. Okay, so I will ask the party if they're willing, if Gargan's willing to host it, meeting Gargan's dorm room.
Yeah, of course I am.
Now,
To
that
discuss some
said, he
things
has
in
a
private.
bed and one chair. So you may need to bring your own chair.
I don't know how much sitting I'll do, but yeah. Yeah, most of us are used to sitting on the ground anyways, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has anything else they want to add.
Let me see if I can think anything Saul might have been.
Oh, with her gossip checking.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to see what notes she made.
No.
Oh. Okay. No, I don't see any notes about that. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay. So yeah, unless she has it written somewhere else, I don't see anything that.
Oh, she might have been making notes on her computer that she transfers.
Between sessions. Okay. So no, unless she has it on her computer separate, I don't see anything here.
Then do you have anything to add, or?
Sorry, I realized I was muted after. No.
All right, so are you planning to head straight to Gargan's dorm?
Uh, I'd probably go to the prayer hall one last time just to help out a little bit if I can, then head to the dorm. So
All right, let's say assuming time to eat,
meet up about.
the time you talk, meet up for 8, because I'd say it's probably already almost 7.
I was going to say 8 or 9. That way we can still have a long rest after.
Okay. So yeah, you'll say you break up just before 7. So if you wanted to go to the prayer hall and check in, you guys, if you need to go to your room, grab a chair, freshen up, whatever. You'll meet back up at 8. Who's going to the prayer hall again?
Drake, yeah.
And Drake, yeah. Okay.
Just to see if I can help out in any way. Even just simple changing people's bandages and that. They're probably swarmed, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can head over there. Everybody else head back towards the dorms.
I'd check on the people that I said I'd come back and check on.
Most of the ones you saw that were in the deepest situation of ailment seem to still be that way.
Okay.
There are a few that seem like they now have, after a full night's rest, have been able to leave.
Is Frederick still there? With his group, or?
Frederick is still there, still at the bedside of Darren.
Okay.
Darren is conscious now, though.
Oh, he is? I thought he was conscious last time.
He's conscious, but maybe a little more lively.
Oh, okay.
Would be a better way to explain it.
All right. I'd probably see if he needs anything, like bandages changed or anything. Then I would go and check on, what party member of Ryan Waters' group was in there. There's one person, I can't remember who it was.
From Ryan's group, it was.
Which, of course, I forgot to write it down.
I believe it was Rudger.
Was it Rudger? Okay. I'd probably go and check on him, too.
Rudger has been released.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
You do notice that those attending to people seem to be, whereas yesterday was pure chaos and, while today has been pure chaos and just trial by error and figuring out if what works and what doesn't, they seem to have, maybe not have it down to an exact science, but they've figured out here and there a few things that are working and some things that are still very much not.
Oh, so they have a better understanding of what's going on.
A
Slightly.
bit better. Well, better than they did when you first got there in the morning.
And it was pure chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to try some of that din din. I got it. I got it. Thank you.
I would probably maybe who's on staff right now in there?
Uh, staff that you would
Where's
know that are there.
Which
where is it, huh? Honey, where is it? Kim, where is it?
there we go. The Gargan realized for a bit that he wasn't muted.
Uh, so you do notice that Quincy is not there currently. He's finally stepped out to try and take a breather. Uh, the individual you find that seems to be running things right now uh, is a half elf you've never encountered before.
Cool.
And the only reason you believe this person is in charge right now is while they are not really dressed in an attire that you would say, okay, this is the person in charge. The 6-foot tall dire wolf that's walking around with them, with all black fur and a single gray patch over its left eye, uh, seems to be almost leading the way, and then they go, and wherever this wolf goes, everyone follows.
Oh, that is strange. I'd probably you. I'd probably go up to them and ask them if they have any update on what's going on. If they have, has anybody figured out why these wounds aren't healing with magic?
Uh, he stops to look you over as well first, just to see if you look injured. Before he turns and simply says, uh, and he lays a hand on the dire wolf. Snuggles seems to have been able to sense those that are more easy to treat than others.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, my daughter came in. I was just muted myself. Then my mic just did not want to unmute. Um, the dire wolf is named Snuggles. Okay. Based on what he's wearing, would I be able to tell what kind of class he is?
He's garbed in greenish leather armor, uh, between his race and his clear connection to this thing beside him, you would probably guess either a druid or ranger.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to assume. Are you assuming my class? I'd probably ask him. He said it's able to discern who is in more dire needs than others.
Not so much more dire need. It's he's basically reacted in a way to those that they can just bandage and treat with non-magical means to at least
Oppose.
keep them up and around.
Okay. I'd probably ask.
Almost like the naturally occurring wounds have a scent that he can seem to differentiate from whatever is causing the other things to go on.
Oh. It's very interesting, and I want to try and figure out more. Does he have any
I don't
idea
know how
how
to
this
respond
would
to that
happen?
Discord message. What
It
was the
was more.
question?
I don't know why she didn't privately message that to me.
What?
That's in the Discord chat there, babe.
Oh, crap.
I'm like,
My bad.
okay, she's talking about her 4-year-old wants a bath.
No, it was the ears that I'm like, what?
Oh, her headset. So if we
Oh,
ask her
okay.
a question, I think she meant to only put part of that in there and then put the
Okay.
whole thing.
No worries. So who? Okay, and Drakeii was the one asking questions in the prayer
Yeah,
hall, right?
yeah. Like, does he know how his wolf is able to do that?
Not really.
Okay, so it's just a random thing that his wolf is able to do.
Yep, and
To the
he seems to trust the wolf's intuition and is following its lead.
Okay. What? It's about what 7 o'clock right now, or would it be getting close to 8?
It's been about a half hour, so you have if you're meeting back up at 8, you know it's going to take you about 10 minutes to get across campus.
Okay. Okay. I'd probably okay. I'll just thank him for the information and just tell him that is a very unique skill that is extremely helpful in this situation. Is there anything you want me to do before I leave?
Uh, and he points over to a few clearly younger looking students and says, if you could just change a few bandages before you head out, that would be much appreciated.
With that, I will say, I'll just go and do that then. Oh, most random thing that's happened so far. Then after I'm done changing those bandages, I would head to the dorms.
Okay.
Okay.
So give me a medicine check.
Yes, sir. Oops, wrong thing. You just want one or two?
One will do. All right. Yeah, the ones that they had you point out to go and change the bandages, you changed them out just fine. You will note
Mhm.
that these ones specifically, based on the size of the wounds, you feel these should have bled out a lot more onto these bandages, and they do seem to be healing, albeit very slowly, through the care of bandages.
Can I try and cast? What do I have on me right now? Healing word to see if I can accelerate it.
You can try.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
On these ones, you note that the ones they had you treat with the bandages, they do not seem to have any reaction from your spell.
Okay. It's because I notice that they're healing, but it's slower. Wanted to see if just giving it a little boost would cause it to heal.
All right. And so 8 o'clock, you arrive back at Gargan's dorm room.
Now, is the entire party here, or
I believe everybody was meeting up there for 8, correct?
Ellie? I think you're
I'd say yeah.
okay.
Oh. Oh, and Drakei?
Yeah.
It looks like you actually have too many cantrips memorized.
Oh, I thought I got an extra cantrip. Oh wait, yeah, maybe I don't know.
I think you get one, so it's probably one extra. Yeah, you should have 4.
Yeah, I don't think I put in enduring hardship or reassurance. I don't think I put those on there.
Okay.
The only one I took was Sacred Flame. I already had
Oh, I
Spare the
probably
Dying.
I probably
and then
dropped them all on there so you could see them to
see
read them
them.
easier.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
Sacred Flame was the one I took.
Okay.
Because I already had Mending, Resistance, and
And apparently you
Spare the
have
Dying.
6 spells prepared. You're allowed to have 8.
Oh, do I? Okay.
All right.
I'll just add a couple
Okay.
after we're done
Yep.
doing the thing.
So back in Gargan's room.
Guessing mostly everybody's there.
Uh,
Well, I don't know about Vincent.
Quark and Saul are. Everyone else were you all? I guess it's just be
Zin's,
Vincent and Zin.
I believe Zin said she was going to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So it's just Vincent. Were you meeting up with everybody at Gargan's room?
I thought I was just being ignored and my mic was off. Yeah, I'll be
You
there.
can't hear him. Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry, that was a question for me.
No,
For
Vincent.
Vincent.
Oh, for Vincent. Okay, my apologies.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I would be there.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, everybody from the party meets up there for 8 o'clock.
So I pretty much the reason I asked us all to meet up is to discuss what happened during the festival. During the fight, you were all very curious about a reason why I might have been the target. Trying to remember how to pronounce that name that he called me.
Tetherdyne.
Tetherdyne, thank you. Like, jeez, how do you pronounce it? Why I was being called a Tetherdyne. Apparently, that has something to do with my mother in some sort. I don't know what exactly. I will say, though, to them that I might be wrong saying this. Correct me if I'm wrong, DM. Indrekia Sky is not my real name. Correct? It's just a name I go by.
It is. Andrakei is your actual first name, and Sky is the
Name
name that your father assumed.
Yeah. Yeah, but what about the name my grandfather called me? I thought that was my true name.
That would be the true family name.
Oh, well, because he called me Adam.
Andrakei is an elven name.
Okay.
It's the closest that he could. He didn't
Get
like the idea of Andy, so he chose Adam as a more noble sounding name.
Okay, so I will. Yeah, I'm going to tell the group that. Well, oh yeah, so my name would still be Indrakei Sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather is a Smithison or Smithson.
Smithison.
Smithison. And my mother happened. I don't know much about her and her family, as I was mainly raised by my grandfather. And what was I going to say? One of the Randall in particular was the one to first call me this, and I didn't know what it meant at the time, but it seems to mean a lot more than just a passing knowledge that he happened to have. He was also the one to point me out during that night. And this might have something to do with what Tobias saying that I don't know myself. I believe that's what he said.
Something along those lines, yes.
Something along those lines.
To be fair, he said that specifically while looking at 2 or 3 of you.
That's fair. I was the one that questioned it, and he said, "Think about it."
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of is just like, oh, okay, so that was directed towards me. In I don't know who at the college other than those two would actually know this information. That's why it kind of has me worried about where he's gone and whether or not he's the one that helped divulge the information. Because nobody else at the college should have this information, to my knowledge.
But how did any of this connect to the name Tetherdyne. I got Sky, Adam, Smithinson. But you said he called you Tetherdyne, right?
Yeah, it could be something to do with my mother's clan, or where she was from. As I said, the only thing I have of hers is my pendant, which I would probably show everybody. And
Which
this
is
is
very prominently visible on you pretty much at all times.
all times, yeah. I have no more information about who the Tetherdyne are or anything about that. I was going to try and see if I can get do some research myself in the library on this, but it does make a little more sense of why I was targeted. And I don't know who we should allow privy to this information. That's from the faculty, as we don't know who we can 100% trust.
I think Miss Von Hopper has chosen and shown loyalty to us in the past. Maybe we can bring her in on this.
Could be a honeypot, though.
Fair. So pretty much he wanted you because of your mother?
Or something along those lines. I can't 100% be sure about that, but if I'm just a random, if there has to be something more to that name, the Tetherdyne, than what I would know, and
Well,
if we
and
could maybe get more information on it.
I was gonna say, do you know where your mother is?
She's dead.
Or
As far as I know, for sure she's dead. That's what I've been told.
Yes, you were told that your mother died during childbirth.
Yeah. How much of that is true, I can't 100% say, but I'm inclined to believe it.
Huh.
Because she died before my father, correct?
Yes.
So my father probably would have been I had some sort of relationship with my father before he passed.
Yeah, you were about 4 or 5 when your father died.
Yeah. So he would have been the one to tell me that she died in childbirth. So I don't think he would have any reason to lie about that. Unless it's to try and protect me.
Then,
Hmm.
and I'll roll for Saul. Make a history check.
Sorry, you needed me to what?
Make a history check.
Okay, give me 30 seconds, please.
Okay.
Do you need me to go to Bonnie, Alicia?
No, I should be okay. History, just regular history, right?
Yeah.
That's a crap roll.
All right. I'm going to make a note for Saul that she can choose to do with what she wants, because I'm not sure if she would share this.
Okay.
Okay. You guys can go on whatever you need to. I'm just leaving the note for her.
Yeah,
Mm.
like I'm open to questions.
So what I'm gathering is the reason you think Teradyne might be um, uh, related to your family and your mother is simply because you don't know for sure what the full family names from both sides are. So
From my mother's side, and the fact that as soon as the guy saw my pendant, he identified me as a tethered eye. That's the information I'm going
so
off of.
there's the connection. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay. I
looking
might
at
not
it.
have explained it right to you.
No,
Sorry.
that's all right. No, it's okay. Yeah, and then the fact that there's still an open space there as far as your mother's names from your mother's side. So
Yeah, and like that's why I want to do research on it.
mhm,
And divulging this information needs to be to people we know 100% we can trust.
got it.
Because I don't know if for sure Randall was the one that gave the information. He was just there to point me out, or if Tobias, because he's missing, if it's him. Because he seemed to let on that he knew who I was, or at least something about me that I don't know myself. It took pleasure in knowing that he knew and I didn't.
Well, and that's just it. That's why I want to try to see if we can find him. Because if he's the traitor,
Or he was captured or and
yeah.
tortured for information, for all we know. But
Well, and that's just it.
like everything we're talking about is just pure speculation on him.
Fair.
Yes, and to be fair, you had encountered Randall before your meeting with Tobias and them in the woods.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying for sure I know 100% Randall knows, and he's the most likely person because he is. Yeah, he was a slave, right? Or was he more of a guard?
Uh, he was among a group that were all wearing blue with the crest of House Kreigel on their arm that were basically continuously in the library.
Okay, yeah, I'll probably tell the group that that it seemed that they were continuously in the library searching for something. I just thought he was somebody that had a passing interest and enjoyed cookbooks because he was reading. I believe he was reading one when I met him.
He was reading a recipe book.
Recipe book. Thank you. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yes.
And if you phrased it like that now to the party, a few of them will chime in that recipe books in the library don't necessarily mean cooking. They are for basically all facets of trade skills and crafting.
My uneducated ass.
So yes,
Ah, it's a cookbook. That's great.
you assumed cookbooks. He could have been looking up how to make ballistas. He could have
Oh,
been looking up alchemical formulas. He could have been looking up the creation of poisons.
ah,
You just saw a friendly face who said they were there looking for some recipes.
yep.
It all makes sense now.
A recipe for destruction. call an ambulance, but not for me. Yeah, just because I feel like the reason I'm telling you guys is because we've been through a lot, and you guys pretty much just risked your lives to keep me from being taken. So I'm guessing you're all pretty trustworthy with this information. And the reason I didn't divulge it earlier is it didn't seem like it was necessary at the moment.
Well, we all have our secrets.
And I do feel bad for kind of pulling everybody into this.
Well, as they say, if it doesn't kill you, it was a good adventure.
Right. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, I guess. I answer any questions if anybody has. I know the information. Or suggestions, maybe.
Okay. I am back. Now, my suggestion is that if you go anywhere, you take someone with you. So don't go be wandering off by yourself, clearly. You're a wanted
Oh,
man.
not like I'm going out to have an adventure in the woods anytime soon.
It's fair.
It'd most likely be on the campus where most people would be able to see me.
But yeah, and then probably, I don't know. I don't know who we can actually trust at the college 100%, to be honest.
Um, okay, basically put together a list of who you think you might be able to trust.
Other than the fact that he's kind of gone psycho right now, Lord Collingsworth probably would be someone to trust with this information. But I don't know how he's going to react to it. Kind of
I was,
alarming when you go and visit him and he's picking through goblin bones. I don't want to join the
well,
bones.
I was just going to ask, isn't he the one that taped Mrs. Von Hopper's mouth shut? Or sewed it shut?
Or
Magically sealed it shut.
Yeah. So, I don't know. If we're going to tell him, we definitely don't go by ourselves.
I think that matters little. How many people we bring with us? He's flying through the sky, dropping goblins on the ground.
Sure.
Clearly stronger than all of us combined. I would, yeah, say, you shouldn't assume, but I'm going to assume he's probably not one to mess with. It's just more or less with the way his psyche is right now. I don't know if it's best to tell him about this information right now. But then again, how pissed off he was when we didn't divulge certain information to him right away. That has me like to catch 22, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh, Garden,
Well,
what do you think? Oh, there you are.
yeah, I was just gonna say if you were curious enough, I suppose we could bribe a guard and ask to speak with Randall for a little while. He doesn't have to be. We don't. He don't. You know, we can do it while he's behind bars. He doesn't have to be released or in any way unchained. And if you wanted to ask him a few choice questions, I might be able to help you figure out what's on his mind.
Who's questioning the guards right now? Or when you like when you
So
were in there?
they're in prison. I know where that is, and I was saying if you wanted to, I suppose if we gave a gold piece to a guard, they would let us talk to Randall for a couple of minutes, and then maybe you could ask him some questions, and we could figure out what he's thinking. But that's that's only if you're curious and you want to try that.
I wouldn't be objective towards that. Like, we have the gold to spare to be able to bribe a guard.
Oh yeah, so it's
I
up to you
think
if you want to actually go down there, or if you think it might be too dangerous to go down there. We could wait to see what if they're eventually released from
who was on
there.
duty when you went down there?
I could probably answer that if I look up and think of the answer. It's coming to me.
The individuals you saw that you
No.
know.
Yeah, I meant like the one who was actually physically doing the interrogating.
Oh,
That was asking the question.
Martin Breyer was the head of basically interrogating them.
Do you think we can trust him?
I might start by just asking him for permission, as far as opposed to doing it like in any kind of like, off the books way. It might be a little safer.
Okay. Has anybody told anybody about the situation that happened? How I was targeted?
Yeah, and we must have told someone. Who do we tell he was targeted? I think we told Crandall, right?
You told
Collingsworth. I mean,
you told Collingsworth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we didn't tell Collingsworth. We just accepted the reward and then left.
I believe you had started to mention that, and that's when you spotted the bones.
Didn't you tell Walda? I think it was.
You might have mentioned it to Wilda.
Wilda, thank you.
And that might be when let's see.
I can't recall if you said that you mentioned that to her and told her my name.
I did write down that somewhere taking some of the folks might have been to get a ransom, but I don't know if it was specifically for you.
Quark will chime in with two other individuals he feels have proven trustworthy to the group. Tiny and Guinea.
That is fair.
Yeah.
But how tight-lipped is Tiny, really? No offense to Tiny, but we kind of were able to probe him for information pretty easily.
Yeah.
That'd be my only fear. Is like someone he nonchalantly accidentally lets it leak.
Right.
My fear is if we tell Lord Collingsworth, I'm going to be held somewhere. Or certain faculty might hold me somewhere and, or worst case scenario, use me as bait. Because I don't know if they're going to try and get revenge for the attack on the college. And if they do, when that's going to happen.
Fair.
That's why I'm a little eerie about who we tell and who has information about this. One of the people is missing and hasn't been seen since the attack on the college. The other person is in prison. Out of people that I know for sure know.
Saul will also chime in with Miss Fawnhopper.
Yeah, I kind of figured Sol and Zin would say Miss Fawnhopper. She hasn't really given us a reason not to trust her. She's probably been the one that's helped us out the most.
And I would, if we're naming people we trust, I trust Wilda.
More or less, I'm just asking because it's not really trusting her with your life, it's trusting her with mine. It's one thing if it's your life, but trusting somebody else's life. But I trust you, so I guess I'll trust her.
Well,
You could probably divulge this information to her, but do it in private.
well, as I was thinking about it, interrogating the guy in front of the other prisoners, we'll probably have to wait to get Randall alone somehow.
Yeah.
But I hear you about Wilda. Yeah, well, also you don't have
Is
to
there
necessarily get all the answers right away, right? We don't have
right?
to.
Is there anybody outside the college that we could perhaps trust and ask?
Oh, I'm sure I could trust my Martin completely, and he might actually know something.
Oh yeah, that's your master, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was at the school, right? He knows most of the players. He he might actually know what what family Tetherdyne is.
Or what the meaning behind it is?
Yeah,
Because I'm assuming it's either a clan name or something, but it could mean something else.
yeah, yeah. I'm happy to message him if you want me to.
If you trust him, I'll trust him.
Yeah. No, I think it's safe to say he's
And
unless it's the most major plot twist in my little piece of this. I think he's trustworthy.
it was me, Austin. It was me.
Yeah, that's right. Sort of your mentor and father all alone was your worst enemy, So unless it's that, which I don't think it is. But you never know.
Yeah. Um, Vincent, what's your opinion on everything?
So anything you want me to say in the message? Any particular question?
Not at this point. Pretty much a broad question.
Okay.
You
Like,
can get
have
it.
you ever heard of this name?
Yeah.
Alright.
That way, if it's a broad question, we can start narrowing it down because I have no information, right?
Right. And how would you, if I describe the pennant, is that allowed?
Are you able to send an image to them?
No.
Well, if I do
No.
it as an attachment, and use the smallest file size, and don't
All I
jam it
see
up
is
with multiple,
Gargan wink and go click. Okay.
and as long as I
No,
don't
I
jam
didn't
it with
know if he was
multiple images.
if your
It's a,
spell could
he's allowed
send.
a simple 25-word limit sentence.
Okay.
I was going to be a brief description of the amulet, like its size, color, and shape, and then.
Yeah, let's
Well, I
split
did.
it into
I
25
didn't know
words.
I don't know how it works, right?
No, it has to be in JPG.
Oh, no PDF formats. Okay.
Unfortunately, they're only in ping, so.
Thanks, yeah.
I didn't know if you could send mental images to people or not.
No, just, yeah.
Not yet.
Would spitball Mara's name out just because she did bring
She
me
brought
back, like she
she
didn't
brought
have
you
to.
back, but she doesn't really seem to like me not much.
Yeah, but she trusts me. And that's what I'm thinking. If she trusts me, then I can probably convince her to.
Yeah, but what would we gain from telling her? Other than another one more person knows that can get
Okay.
leaked out. Like I'm more or less trying to keep this as close as possible until we know more, right?
Yeah, fair. Okay.
And risking the fallback from Collingsworth.
And Vincent, is there anybody you have encountered that you would say is trustworthy to the party? I can't hear you if you're talking.
Okay, how about now?
Yes.
Keeps getting unplugged. Sorry about that. So, how? I mean, he didn't really have much on-screen time, but how familiar would he be at this point with his instructors?
Well, that is a good question.
Your instructors, you've made a point of trying to fly under the radar for the most part.
Yeah, yeah. So no, he doesn't. I don't think he has anybody that he would.
Yeah, I don't think you
recommend.
have quite a bond that you formed with one of. Well, wait. Let me check your skills instructors, because your rogue instructors are definitely a no.
You mean the people that deal in secrets? Come on.
Primarily, you've studied with Wilda.
Oh, so same person as Gargan then.
Yeah.
What about people to like avoid? You would for sure say don't tell that person.
Yeah, my rogue trainer, probably my trickster trainer too.
Okay. Do we have names for these two?
Yeah, 1 second.
Yeah, it's
Eh.
Dusty Kiln and Peltoria Brighton. Brightlorn. Sorry, Brightlorn.
Okay.
One of those names is definitely known to you. To Saul and Zinn, they both definitely know the name Dusty Kiln. That's who you stole the priceless gem off of.
Oh yeah. So maybe not trust that person so much. They know who who I've worked with. They'd be like, wait, you're the little fuckers that stole my stuff. Good job, bud. Fuck you. Okay. And none of us know the other one? You said I would know him other than, so I'm guessing it's the same one. Just because of the whole caper.
Oh no, Dusty is the one that
Oh,
you guys know from the caper.
yeah, that's what I meant. I thought you were talking about I knew one because I have a class with them or something.
Oh,
I guess.
Well,
not.
no, that's you know Wilda.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it. I think we would be good to go back to our dorms to go to sleep. I don't have anything else to discuss. Which I'm pretty sure Zin would or not Zin, Soul would have a lot of questions, but she's not here right now.
Yeah.
Like I have no problem just talking to her again.
Okay.
When she gets on.
So I make a mental note of the pendant, and can I have a quick description of it?
I'm willing to let you take it. I'll leave it in your dorm with you.
No, it's not necessary. I just want to be able to describe it briefly to.
Well, I'll take it off, hand it to you, so you can get a better look at it.
All right.
He's asking you to describe it to him so he can put it into words.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't want to. I don't want to take it from you. I don't want to touch it. I just.
No,
want
I just. Where? Hang on. Let me find my.
I appreciate the trust. I'll turn around and I'll fall backwards and let you catch me. But
hang on, I don't see it in my inventory. Hang on.
Green.
So it's like the picture, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is a
More or
green
less.
metal leaf.
A green what?
Metal leaf.
Green metal leaf.
Oh, green leaf pendant. There it is. I was like, where'd it go? Yeah, green metal leaf pendant belonged to my mother. I will give you her name.
Mm-hmm.
Litherdel Tetherdine? I pronounce that right?
Well, that's her true name, but you would only know her as the name before that.
Oh, Arani? Wait, I'm trying to pronounce the name right. Please forgive me.
Aranaahi.
Sky, yeah. So forget the other name I just told you. So how do you pronounce that? Because I think you told me once, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not going to be able to remember that.
Actually, you were pretty close. Aranai.
Arani, okay.
Anybody else that you guys would chime in with? This is someone who we need to avoid letting find out.
Oh, I'm avoiding any instructor that like teacher that would be for um, thieves, rogues. No offense, Vincent.
Oh, none taken. I wouldn't trust them either.
Like I'm not even gonna trust like some of the people NPCs I made friends with.
Huh. I see
I'm
how it
keeping
is.
I'm keeping it to our group. Just because you were all curious, we fought and bled together. Odds are I'm going to let you know because it might be like if you know any way to make it more a little more helpful to not for the next time we're attacked by something or somebody. And while doing that, I'm just going to. You said I get 2 more spells
Yeah, you
prepared.
can have 8 prepared.
Okay.
All right, if the group all left, I'm gonna compose the telegram
Yep.
to
I'd say
Martin.
another 15, and then if everybody was heading back to their own rooms.
Yeah, I would head back to my own room.
Okay.
Do what I was going to do.
Yep, Vincent's off too.
All right. So everybody else heads back to their rooms. Okay. Once back in your rooms, what time is everyone planning to go to bed?
Um, I'd probably go to bed almost immediately. Yeah, I'm done rearranging my spells or adding the 2 spells that I got.
Hmm.
So,
Okay. Uh, just trying to figure out if I figure Quark, I think he's reading a book that he can squeeze in an hour before his normal bedtime. Yes.
Yeah, I already gave my book back, so
Saul can squeeze in an hour as well. Well, actually, Saul can probably squeeze in 2.
oh, I have a question.
Hmm.
The letter I sent to my grandfather, when can I expect a reply?
Uh,
Like, I believe it was a few days ago that I sent it.
yeah, it's
Or do I have to wait until the 1st?
that's what I'm checking to see if it's uh the actual where's your that's in your journal, right?
Yes. It would be a letter for grandfather. Uh,
Second letter?
nope, first letter. I'm gonna send another one, but I might change it now with
Okay.
everything that's happened.
Okay. Given that it's the holidays of the winter, it's probably going to take at least 5 days for it to get there, and then his response time and the shipping of it.
Okay.
So probably around the 1st it would arrive as well, if he
Okay.
is able to send it by the same means they do.
Yeah. Which, who knows? And when he actually gets to opening it and reading it. More or less what the second letter is right now is just questions that I have for him.
Okay.
Until I'm ready to send all that out, I'm going to hold on to it.
Okay. Uh, Okay. So, Gargan, did you put together your sending yet?
Yes.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
All right. Have friend wearing green metallic leaf pendant. He curious about family history. What significance of name Tetherdyne? Mother name was Arankai, married name Sky. Aranahai, married name Sky.
Okay. Okay. So, after a few minutes, Martin responds. That is a name I have not heard in a while. They are the broken line of the Tri-Elders Guards, after the departure of their daughter long ago.
All right. And I'm gonna I need you to repeat that a couple of times.
Okay.
They're the broken line of the
Tri-Elders Guards.
Now, do I know what that means? The Tri-Elders Guards, like, is that?
Uh, make a history check.
And I'm gonna use the brilliant academic weapon.
Okay.
If 24.
24. Uh, you don't know what they mean by the guards, but you do know the term the Tri-Elders. Uh, in the Elven homeland, they are ruled by a triumvirate, referred to as the Tri-Elders. Educated guess would assume that this is almost like guards born into the station of servitude to the triumvirate.
Okay. All right. So that was the second line there. The broken line of the Tri-Elders Guards, and then there was more.
After the departure of their daughter long ago.
Yeah, the broken line of the Tri-Elders guards after the departure of their daughter. So am I gathering somebody decided to leave the elven fold and not? Am I assuming from this that there was one
And
individual that didn't want to take on the family business and moved away?
yep, that'd be one way to interpret that.
Right. And then, I mean, the elves live thousands of years, so it could well, the movie it says long ago. Okay, so his mother
Well,
is a
okay, maybe
descendant
not
of,
long ago. I had to try and squeeze it into a 2-word ending to that for time duration.
could have left out the first sentence. Martin.
You know Martin well enough.
It's like, dude,
You're lucky that
it's
15 of the 25 words aren't burned by him.
exactly. It's like, greetings and heartfelt salutations. I'm glad you asked that question. It's both poignant and
It wouldn't be Martin if he wasn't Martin.
but we don't know if that daughter was his mother or the mother's is sort of or was a like an ancestor, like a grandmother or something of the daughter.
Yeah, you're not sure if he's referring to Andrakiai's mother, grandmother,
Right.
if the broken departure was her death.
Right. I'm assuming it was by choice or by physically leaving, but sure departure could mean death.
Yeah, there's a few ways to interpret it, but yes, it's again, they state daughter. You don't know if this means, again, this could be his grandmother who simply left the organization.
Okay. And Andraki we know him. Is he a known half elf? What is his?
He is very visibly a half elf.
He is a half elf. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, you guys have probably seen my ears a few times.
Sure. No, we all. Yeah. I probably have it written down somewhere actually.
I
But,
usually cover it with my hair or something, just out of like natural, like force of habit, I guess you would say.
and their guards. Okay. And you're saying our knowledge of elven history isn't good enough to know who guards the Tri-Elders now?
Uh,
Would an elf know that?
an elf might know.
So, well, something to share with the group tomorrow.
And more specifically, not just any elf, it would be an elf that's actually going to be from oh god, where's an elf that's actually going to be from Famor. the nation of the elves.
Eh, Would my knowledge of history be enough to know if, like, elves have multiple nations, if you will?
Your knowledge of history and understanding the basic map as you're aware of it, um,
Yeah.
the only elf lands are Thamor. In fact, the only race that has more than one nation is the humans. And that's because there's 3 of them and they couldn't settle on one. They've gone to war against each other many times.
Okay. So most elves are, at least originally, from Fame. Their families.
any noble houses of elves are going to come from Thamor. There would be elves that scattered throughout the lands that were not from great lineages or who at one time or another simply withdrew from elven society to settle in with the humans, settle into New Hope, uh, join the Eastern trade community, or join the Watchers.
Okay.
Like there's if that's an easier way for you've seen the physical map of like what the topography of the land would look like. This is a breakdown more not to scale but designed color coded to break down the different nations.
And that's on the grand scale map.
Nope, that's I literally just dropped it
Oh,
in the
okay.
chat.
In the chat.
So south of the wall, there's the 3 human kingdoms, and then Famor, the elf lands,
Fame. Okay.
the Watcher lands, which is its own independent nation, which separates the 4 from the Wasteland and the Fingers. Vanderpelt, which is the land of the halflings. Forget the typo. Moradun, which is the capital, the nation of dwarfs. The Eastern Trade Community, which at least the basics, most people would know that it founded as a small port, shipping goods from across the ocean, eventually built a city port, and eventually just expanded, and now it's its own independent nation that controls 75 to 90% of all trade goods in Faldarish. And then on the opposite edge, there's Longtier, the Great Northern Territory, and Fic Dortan, the Ice Giant Nation. And then down at the bottom of the map, Serpent Island. I'd say that for the most part, anyone who went through any type of even semi-formal education would know at least the different nations within the continent and the briefest of history, at least about the Eastern Trade Community, because at some point or another they have dealt with them. Whether it was to buy bales of hay for their farm or trade crafting materials, any type of magical weapons pretty much, or magical materials in general. It most likely came through the Eastern Trade Community. All right. Saul, was there anything you needed caught up on what you missed?
A quick summary would be appreciated. I'm a little bit lost.
Okay.
Oh, look who decided to grace us with their presence.
So the party met up for dinner, did a brief recapping of what they had learned during their day here of investigating the last time, and then met up for basically a strategy session in Gargan's room. In there, people were chiming in with a list of who they feel they can trust and who they feel they cannot among staff and potential students. And then Gargan went to reach out to Martin with a query into one of the things, which was Andrakei sharing a little bit of his family history.
More or less. And why I think I might have been targeted during that fight.
Yeah.
Yes, and I chimed in that while you were gone, that you would have probably stated that Miss Fawnhopper you felt was somebody that the party could trust.
Yeah, I probably would have done that.
Which I kind of figured that you and Zin would say, "Oh yeah, Miss Fawnhopper."
On your sheet,
Let's see, you're going straight to bed.
on your sheet, you have a new note that I left you from basically something that you, when you were getting told the story, it was something that you sort of came across. I wasn't sure what you would have shared about that, and it should have just popped up on your screen.
Wait, so I was told this in private? When
No,
again?
he was basically telling the story, and when you heard it, this is something that it came into your mind.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't
So
sure
would
I wasn't sure if Saul would have shared any information or asked more questions about it at that point.
So Soul is a little bit of a contradiction in that she likes listening for gossip, but she's not much of a gossip herself unless it's like conductive to receiving more gossip.
Yes.
She
That's why
doesn't
I'm like,
spread
didn't want.
information.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to just throw it out there. I'm like, you figured this out, but I wasn't sure if you would say anything about it.
I think it depends on whether I believed what he was telling me. If I believed it, I wouldn't have shared it. But if I didn't believe it, I might have like looked at him funny. And
No, you
if
definitely would have believed this.
I probably would have I would have believed this.
Yes.
Oh, because if I didn't believe it, I probably would have tried to like talk to him in private and say like something about it. But
Okay.
if I did believe it, then I probably would have just I would have taken at face value because tragedies do happen.
Yeah. Okay. Everyone else went to bed. 45. We'll say 45 minutes. 10 o'clock. And Drakei, just before you go to lay down for the night, roll a d20 for me.
Oh, why do I got to do it? All right, instead of D20.
Yep.
Please good, please good, please good.
Okay.
I don't like it when he does that. Okay, it's just like Okay, and now you have anxiety.
Oh no, you're going to get this information now right away.
Oh, okay.
I just got to figure out where I wrote it.
Okay, cool.
Okay, it's got to be in my actual docs here. You hear almost a scratching static in your head. That eventually just grows louder until you finally hear, "For the love of God, boy, will you just pay attention?"
Okay, I would probably shoot up awake from that, or what I would think is shooting up awake. Assuming this isn't a vision or something.
Nope, you just hear this.
Hello?
Did I finally get through?
Do I recognize the voice?
Make a history check for me.
Okay. Oh, hopefully I got the right history.
It actually would have been Bishop's Hollow, but that's just 2 higher, so it's actually 21.
Oh, you wanted a specific one. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to mention it, and then you had already rolled.
Wow.
But, so 21. Thankfully, you got over 20 because that was the target. This is a voice you have not heard in. How old are you?
25, I believe I said I was.
In 20 years.
Hang on, I'm not sure
It is
if
the
that's
voice of your father.
Wait, isn't Andrakei an elf?
half elf.
A half elf. That makes more sense. Thank you.
Yep.
1 second, I need.
Do I need to do a saving throw to prevent from being shocked?
No, that was your saving throw that you made a minute ago.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't tell you, so I had to add the modifier myself.
Oh.
And we will. One sec. And get rid of the unneeded.
Just all of a sudden saw my description of the ring pop up. I'm like, wait, what? What's happening?
So yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see a line and then 2 little blurbs after it.
It's all I have is just the vague description. Maybe if I close it and reopen it. Oh, there it goes. Thoughts. Yep. Oh, there's the lines. Okay. Ah. Okay. Oh, so okay. I get it now. Okay. So is this a free talk to him or do I have to roll?
Nope. You like it says, 24 hours.
Okay, because you said I could hear him, so you have me roll a d20.
That was before. Did you not read the bottom line?
Oh, that was my save, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I want to continue speaking with him, roll a d8.
Nope. That's already been done. That was
okay. Oh well, you had me roll a d20. That's why it's like.
Yes, because I had rolled the d8.
Oh, you rolled the d8. Or if I want to physically talk to him, I would have to roll it, right?
Yes.
Like later.
Well, yeah. You now have to wait until at least the 21st of next month to reactivate this feature. But after that, you simply, anytime you wish to try it, you roll a d8. On an 8, you have 24 hours.
So I'll be like, Dad, is that you?
Yes, my son.
How is this possible?
You bear my ring, and it bears my soul.
When I first found out what this ring could do, I tried to see if there was any soul inside the ring, but I got no reply. I thought it was empty.
You passed your save when you did that.
Oh, okay. But just based on my thinking, I thought it would be empty. That's why I never tried again.
Yeah. And he's continued to try and reach out to you, but once he fails, he's basically out of luck for 3 days and then has to try again. which
so
is why a few times you've been asked to roll a d20.
Oh, okay.
If I said make a wisdom save, you'd have a lot more questions.
I would too. Yeah. It's been so long. Does he have any, like, would he know how long he's been in this ring?
He would not know how long he's been in the ring. He knows how long he's been in contact with you.
Ah.
And he obviously can tell between your voice and the fact that you've been talking about this as a college that it's definitely been some time. He can usually hear what's going on around you. He just couldn't interact.
Until this second.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at the wake up boy. How long have you been I probably asked him how long he's been trying to get a hold of me. You probably automatically say the days.
Pretty much since you attuned to the ring. And through that attunement, I had my bond.
I guess you said you could hear everything going on the outside world, correct?
Most of it.
Did you happen to catch what I was saying about my mother?
My dear Lith, my Ranai. Yes, I heard that. And that's when I began screaming at you.
Would you happen to know any more information about this?
Your mother was next in line of the Tetherdyne.
So does that mean now I'm next in line? Or has that line been broken?
That line has been broken. I do not even believe they know you exist.
Somebody knows I exist.
We wed during the war. It pissed your grandfather off a fine day.
I don't think he didn't let me not hear it every day.
But your grandfather is a wily one. That is why he turned his back on Sundale, saying they had lost their way. Or, I believe Herondale, actually. I'd have to check your
Back around a bit.
I can't remember. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, Sundale.
Is that why you moved us away?
I to follow the true path. He despised that I followed your mother into the care of the great oak.
He's none too happy that I follow the White Knight. Right? I didn't mess up that name, did I?
The great white knight.
The Great White Knight.
The ascended man. He would view that in a step in the right direction compared to the oak. But he would have definitely tried to push you to the Sun Lord.
There was no, there wasn't, not for a lack of trying, there wasn't. So, how long? I probably just asked him the question on how long this connection will last, because this is the first time it's happening. So,
I have but 24 hours.
it's such short time.
But now that you know I am here, it will be easier to talk again. Unfortunately, it is something that I cannot do again for another month. It will wear me away to do so.
Would you also happen to know about the Smith? Blah, 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 blah. Can't
Smithson?
even, yeah, I can't speak today. My tongue's just name being re-established. There was
That
yes,
I did not know of.
I stumbled across a book that somebody was seeming very interested in our family.
When I wed your mother, and I forsake my name and she forsake hers, we chose the name Sky. It is an old name from Sundale for those blessed by nature. Your mother was a ranger by trade.
Hmm. And what would my father have been? Was he just like a fighter or something, or based on what I would recall, his skills were?
You just know that he was a soldier. He was simply a member of the militia and a soldier in the war.
Oh, so nothing special.
Nope.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify before doing anything else. You know he misses you.
I question that. I cost him a pretty penny. I cost him his line. I cost him his name. I cost him his house. And
I
as
would
he referred to your mother, I brought the conniving elven witch into his home.
It does sound like him.
Although when you were born, he was most happy until you turned 5 and your ears started to come in.
Yeah. He told me more than once to keep my ears covered.
Because their appearance was the nail in the coffin for House Smithison. You cannot be a noble house with an impure line.
So now,
He could have sooner passed off you as the bastard child I had spawned with another human than he could have passed off an elf child.
what exactly does he know about what's going on outside the ring?
Uh, he knows there was a large battle. He knows
I've come close to
that
death a few
there's
times.
he knows that. He knows that there is definitely something wrong with healing magic going on. He is not educated enough to venture a guess on any of what that means or how to fix it. uh, your mother and I both took on a new name. She not only had to forgive to the name Tetherdyne, but even her true name. Her actual name was Litherdale Tetherdyne. When she broke away from the elves, she forfeited her entire self to be with me. And I with her.
So I'd probably not find any more acceptance with the elves as I did with my grandfather.
That's, to be fair, the only remaining relative you have among the elves would be your grandmother.
She's still in the old country, isn't she?
Yes, she is a paladin and guard to the Tri-Elders. Her name is Corinna Dara. I'm dropping the name of your journal, this too,
Okay, thank you.
rather than you having to ask me how to spell it.
Yeah, that I appreciate that. Because I'll probably ask like a few times. Slightly dyslexic. Doesn't really help. What about my grandfather's side? Is there any other living relatives, or is it just my grandfather?
Ah, it would just be your grandfather now. Your uncle and great uncle both died during the war. I have not thought of Byron and Alexander in much time. nor poor Sarah, who was slaughtered right alongside Alexander. War takes its toll on the people, and it feeds its wealth to the highest of nobility and the greatest of snake charmers.
Would he happen to know how the way that the Smithson name would have been reestablished?
Uh, the house could be reestablished if he was able to show proof that you had died. Without having an elf in the family anymore, there would be a way to reinstate it. But without an heir, it will end with him.
Very curious. Could someone have falsified all this?
Your grandfather in his younger days was exceptional in making things disappear and reappear when convenient. It is why so many other nobles sought him out.
You think they still seek him out to this day?
The day that I became a sky, 99% of his friends, benefactors, clients would have cut ties with him in an instant. It's why he fled Sundale to begin with. Although why he would go to Valdon.
Perhaps he made a contract there.
Perhaps. Perhaps he did.
Would you happen to know what significance somebody would need with me, as I'm not sure how much of the battle you heard, but it seemed the leader was very interested in me more than anything and wanting me alive.
Interested in considering they took your friend the prince, they took other heirs to noble houses outside of the humans. I'd say a combination of ransom or something far darker. But magic was never my forte.
Would you happen to have any advice on the current situation that I seem to have fallen into?
Hmm.
what my next move should be.
I didn't hear much of what the old man said, but even through the ring, I could feel the menacing aura coming off of him. I would say stay away from that one for now.
Okay, so stay away from Lord's Collingsworth. I was planning on doing that. So I'm guessing he's talking about.
Yes. Your furry friend seems to trust the simple giant. In my days, I would have as well. That said, he is not to be trusted with a secret.
I kind of figured as much. He seemed to not really know when to keep things to himself when questioned.
I could only really feel auras around me and hear the odd snippets of words. There was only one individual that I never sensed and could never hear a single word from, and that was Master Tobias.
I did feel like there's something definitely odd about him. He seemed to know a lot, especially about me. So much that he was implying I didn't know anything about my true self.
Well, simply seeing your ring and if he knew what that meant, and seeing your necklace and knew what that meant, simply a studied person, especially an elf, would have more than enough knowledge to realize at least some of what that meant. That said, some of your comrades, I sensed, fight their own demons, be them minor or not. Some of the most powerful demons you will ever face are simply in your own mind. I spent 5 long years fighting mine.
I've spent probably about 20 running from mine.
That said, tell me about your big girl.
Oh God. Ah. It's thinking you mean Lorca.
Ah, that was her name. She seems to fancy you.
If that's what you want to call it, yeah. It's putting it a wee bit mild. She seems to be a good lass.
Ah, what your grandfather would do with an orc in the family.
Yeah, I'd be afraid to tell him you'd have a heart attack. It would be humorous, though.
I am curious though. If she's half elf and if she's half orc and you're half elf, Can the two of you make a whole human?
I don't think we're quite there yet.
I've spent many years listening to nothing, feeling nothing. I do wonder what your furry friend looks like sometimes.
He's a you'd probably say that he'd be closer to what, a purple tabby cat, or
Something like that, yeah.
yeah.
Eh,
He wasn't always like that.
I'm trying to remember when you got the ring.
It would have been after. I believe it was after.
Yeah, because it was after you guys got back. Was he already a cat when you guys fought the undead?
Ooh, I don't know. We'd have to
No,
have.
because that was right before the lycanthrope. So no, you got the ring the morning after that.
Oh, so he would
Yeah.
know. Oh, okay. It was a strange thing
Eh,
watching him go from green to purple.
Aye. It was quite the feeling to feel your aura when you flew.
I do miss those wings. I
Well,
kind
boy,
of.
I best not be keeping you. You need your rest. We can talk again in the morning.
I doesn't seem like I have classes for a while, so it'd be good.
Hmm. All right. Does anyone else have anything they're doing before bed, or can I go through a long rest?
Nope.
All right.
Unless there's time for a reading.
I've added that to everybody who I could think of anyway. All right. Okay. Quark, your key points are returned. And Drake, yeah, I'm pretty sure you had used spells. And okay, good. It actually worked. Everybody's stuff looks like it went through this time. All right. And considering I don't think any of you guys get up at 7, I'll say I'll squeeze in another hour's reading for anybody who had books. And all right. So 8 a.m. Who all's actually getting up to greet the day? And who's sleeping for longer or just staying in their room for a bit?
I'd probably be sleeping a little bit longer just because I had a later night.
Okay.
And Drake, yeah. Not much longer because I am an early riser.
Yeah. Anybody?
Vincent's getting up and going to breakfast.
Okay. I assume Quark will probably go too, considering he gets up at the crack of dawn. Uh,
And
I don't
does
think-
his catosthetics.
yes. All right. So, and Drake will sleep in a bit. I feel like Saul usually sleeps in at least a little bit longer than 8 a.m.
I mean, it depends, but generally, yeah, she just gets up at a time when everyone else does.
Yeah. Gargan, I feel like you're another early riser usually. Well, unless you were up later reading.
Yeah, I was probably, I was making that letter, and then I probably would have read a little bit then, and probably read a little bit this morning, and
All right.
plan
Yeah.
to meet everyone maybe at lunch.
All right. So we'll say get up to there. Okay.
Maybe there's some cold pizza left from the party last night. Get that straight out of the box.
So yeah, you guys, whoever's going to breakfast can go get their breakfast. I don't think you guys really made a plan for what time to meet up.
Yeah, if I got there before anybody, I'd probably just wait around as per usual. Especially if I had nothing else better to do. When I finally get my lazy bones out of bed. Which, how much is that going to be of my father yelling at me? Get up.
Well, now that he knows he's connected, he'll probably wait until you actually get up on your own.
Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if you'd be like, get out of bed. You lazy sod.
And in the future, he could probably unpurposely fail his saving throw, right?
Oh, he doesn't even need the saving throw now.
Okay.
It's just once a month he can choose to roll a d8. If he rolls an 8, he can talk to him for 24 hours. If he rolls not an 8, he has to wait 3 days to try again. Saving throw was just for the first time until they're aware of there's someone to talk to. And then the ring finished identifying itself to him automatically.
That's not going to be awkward for a young man in his mid-20s to have his dad listening every second. Maybe
He's
he
already
moves the ring.
telling me about, hey, you know that big chick, right? She's ready and willing. It's like, okay, thanks. Thanks,
He's
Ed.
gonna leave.
Grandkids can be on the way.
He may leave the ring in another room every couple of nights.
What's that stupid show with the puppets? Where the dad always kicks in the son's door. Oh my god. Clark and Son, I think it's called, or something stupid like that.
Oh, I was thinking of the one with the cat puppet that was the voice of Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh no. If I find a video of it, I'll share it so everybody be like, yeah, that kind of tracks.
Oh, sorry, it was a bunny, not a cat.
Oh. Bunny, cat, what's the difference? I'm kidding, I know the difference between a bunny and a cat.
All right, so the early risers go out to breakfast. Yeah, skipped the wrong thing. I meant to jump it to 9, so close enough. 10 o'clock, the next group would wake up. I assume most of these are not going to meet up until lunch. Other than the people who are reading, does anyone else have any plans?
Other than probably talking to my dad, probably not. Which I probably wouldn't be just walking around doing that. I might get a couple of questions.
Uh, yeah, good lord. Y'all got so many books.
You bunch of nerds. You guys all got to read.
Yeah, you're the only one who doesn't have a book, actually.
Because I brought my book back.
All right. So yeah, unless there's any direct questions you still have for your dad in the morning,
It'd be more right now until I get more information from somebody. It'd be more pleasant conversation.
yeah, just catching up.
Yeah.
All right. So that'll bring us to noon. Would you guys be meeting up at noon for lunch? That sound like the normal, or was it later in the afternoon?
That was my thought.
I would say we'd probably keep to our normal schedule
Okay.
because we didn't discuss later than normal. So
Yeah. So yeah, noon. You guys meet up at the mess hall. You do notice that it is a little bit more scarce than you would normally see it. Between those that are actually taking a break for the winter break to go visit family or travel, and those that just abandon the school altogether after the two incidents. Some people may also just be sticking to their rooms because there's no classes, there's no access to the library,
no access to the
there's
combat
no
hall
Billy Crystal.
at all.
Now, mind you, you did see a few people in the yard testing that theory, just swinging weapons at each other and watching nothing make contact.
Yeah, because we can't even hurt each other right now.
Correct.
It doesn't have any negative effects like we get blown away from each other.
Uh,
More or less like hitting a solid wall.
well, it's like the actual blow doesn't make contact. You can land a sword directly on what should have been somebody's chest, and it just sort of whiffs away.
Now, do these guys look like the crit fail people?
Except in the most amazing fashion. Because it looks like it's right there, like striking through, and
So it's not like an instant healing a wound or something like that. Just, hey, guess what? This is not going to hit. Or not work.
So short of any plans at all for the break, short of I know Quark and Saul are going to Misty Oak in a few days. Did anybody else have any plans whatsoever for the break?
Well, I can't access the library, so my plans kind of got kibosh. I thought we weren't able to check stuff out, but we were allowed to still go into the library.
Well, no, because the staff also get their break now.
That's fair.
Speaking of break, we could always try breaking into the library.
Yeah, last time I tried to do something illegal in the library, it did not end too well for me. So I'd be like, you do you, Scotty P.
Barring anybody inviting him along to leave the college, Vince is going to get himself into trouble out of boredom. First, he's going to try to get inside of the library.
God.
Okay.
Oh. No, I can wait until after. It's fine.
Well, like, if I manage to get in there, is there anything you'd want?
I know it's heavily worded, so if you can sneak me out a book that has something to do with the current situation, anything would help.
All right. So,
Like if there's any, because I don't know if there'd be the book would say if there's anything to do with using my blood or something. Because who knows? Other than ransom, there could be other reasons, right?
well, if you just want to see if your blood does anything, I could help you with that. Pulls out a little dagger.
You go to try and cut his finger, and literally the blade slides off like it's hitting.
Well, I did try doing it yet. I was just threatening him. This place sucks. Hey, what you said that there's wards. Have you tried getting in there before?
No, I tried to take a book without checking it out, and it did not end well.
Would it be difficult for Vincent to figure out what the book checking out process is from having done it a couple times?
Usually, the librarian will run some sort of magic stone over the books. And then you are free to take them out for however long they say, which is usually a month.
Okay, so I'll need to get inside, find the magic stone. All right, I think I
If,
got this. Huh?
if it's there, it's a lot of assumption that they just left it there.
Yeah, I mean, once I get inside, it's going to be kind of boring anyway. It's all about the challenge.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you have fun with that. Let me know how it goes. I'll be here to heal you.
You got it, pal.
All right. So burn an hour for eating lunch and catching up. Unless anyone else has anything they want to try and do, we will go to Vincent trying to break into the library.
Oh my god! Here we go.
All right, so I've been scoping out the place and everything. What different points of entry are there?
There is one door.
No windows?
No.
Okay, I'm going to wait till the dead of night. So unless other people are going to be doing things.
Anyone else doing anything today?
Other than, like I said, having conversations with my father in my head.
Okay.
Like maybe just catching him up on like things he would have missed with me growing up. Clearly, he knows a lot about Borka already.
Right.
Oh, Vincent, what do you consider the dead of night?
After midnight. So he would have.
Okay. Yeah, so this will be after your spell ends, or after the connection to your father ends. So I'll say probably 1 a.m. to cover.
Yeah, that works.
So are you hiding out there then, or are you trying to sneak into the utility building as well and get past the guards?
So the library is connected to the utility building?
Yeah, the library is
Okay.
the upper level of the mess hall, the quartermaster's shop, and the stables.
I knew I should have gotten sleep. I'm gonna try to sneak past them. I'll probably try to cause a diversion.
Okay.
Using prestidigitation. So I'm gonna make a smell of fire happen outside the door in one direction, and I'm going to try to sneak in the other direction to get inside while the guards are distracted if they come out.
Okay, so the range on that is 10 feet.
Oh, you're right. So I'll have to hide. I'll have to 10 feet from the entry door.
And it has a verbal component.
Okay. I'm just gonna try to sneak in. I need to make a distraction, so I'm gonna use my mage hand. Let's
Okay.
see here.
It's under rogue effects now.
Yes. Go 30 feet away from me. So how many guards are are guarding it?
When you go there, there is only one that's passing by.
Are there any inside that I can see?
You see the door shut. There's a 11 o'clock curfew, so
Okay. How often are the patrols going by?
how long are you waiting to see when the next wave goes by?
Oh, I'm waiting.
Okay. About 45 minutes later, you watch two more guards go by that crisscross around each other and go in different directions to circle around for loops on their route.
Okay, I'm gonna try sneaking up once they pass each other.
Okay. Make a stealth check. And this will be their passive perception.
Of course.
So you approach the doors.
Come
With a
on.
slight dusting of snow on the ground, you sort of slide and boom, into the door. Oh God, which guard is it? This will determine how bad this is. Uh, roll a d4 for me. I will leave your fate in your hands. Foghorn is the security guard who you got the attention of. As you sort of recover from sliding on the slippery ground and planting face first into a metal door, you look up at the 12-foot tall ogre wielding a battle axe on a chain. Who's staring down at you.
I was out on a run. I gotta go. Gotta keep the weight down, and I'm gonna try running away.
Oh god. What is your speed?
25.
25.
Disengage. I'm disengaging.
You're not engaged in the first place. Okay. 1 second. Oh wow.
Can he use dash as a bonus action?
What is this thing's movement? Oh, piss off. Speed 40. Okay. uh well, the good news is you both will need to make dexterity saves to avoid slipping on the ground. So I need you to make 2 of them right now. DC 15, and if you get under a... So you fail both. Seriously? Well, the good news is his dex is much worse than yours.
Yeah, he's gonna get 20s.
Uh, So you slip and sort of awkwardly almost twist your ankle, but just sort of slide along the ground a little bit. Him twirling his chained battle axe schmucks the ground under him, sweeping out his own feet, and falls to the ground, hitting his head. Now, mind you, when you try and get away, running away, standing up, you sort of end up prone, but on your belly this time. Looking back, he is still down, and you can crawl away into the darkness enough that he can't see you.
Yep, I'm jumping into the snow and disappearing.
Give me a stealth check, and let's see if it does any better.
Oh, it's a good thing I'm getting all the dice out of the way that don't like me.
All right, what is his passive perception? It's off. Oh. So his passive is a 10. You lose him. Pretty much it was don't roll a 1 apparently because his passive is only a 10.
Well, that was one success out of 3.
If we'll call that a success, sure.
Well, I got away. All right. He's going back to the dorms.
All right. Andrake, was there anything you were saying to your dad of actual worthwhile questions other than just catching up for the rest of your time?
Crickets. Bueller. I can hear him trying to talk in the other room.
Felicia. Okay, there we go. I forgot I was muted, or I was muted. And then yeah. Okay. Would I know how he died?
Uh, I don't know if your granddad would have ever mentioned it actually,
Yeah,
like the
because
how. Um, if you're
it.
asking him what he remembers of his death,
Yeah, because I say like I have no information on like what happened to you outside of or your
uh,
grandfather blaming everything else.
I recall having a minor wound and heading home. I don't recall how it happened. I sat at my chair and went to make some notes in a book. Hmm. And then I dozed off and I woke up in this ring.
That's a little curious. What could have happened that you doze off and wake up? Air quotation on that. Wake up dead. His grandfather would always blame my mother. It was the cause of your death.
And she had been dead for 5 years when I died.
He never really went into any detail on how you died. Other than get very angry every time I asked. He doesn't know how he got the wound. Well, it's also
He remembers he was out in the woods and he remembers suffering some type of injury. but not what happened to cause it. And he came home. I do not recall.
Do you perhaps know anybody that would? Because he
Well,
was an adventurer at some point, right? More or less.
no, he was not an adventurer.
Oh, I thought he was after.
No, he served in the military during the war.
Oh, I
And
thought after the war
he was a member of the town militia. So sort of like a guard, a city guard.
Okay, so out hunting. Is that he had some sort of injury? He doesn't recall what he was hunting, right? No. So, trying to think. I don't even know if my grandfather would know for sure what he might have been out there hunting. Okay. I think that's probably the only major information that I would want to know. Because I'm pretty sure or maybe how him and my mother met. Like what led up to
Ah,
the heir of a royal guard. Almost.
your mother was a ranger. She served in the Elven military during the war. We met when Sundale broke allegiance with Herondale and Valdon to side with the elves to end the war.
Oh, so my grandfather moved us to a place that sided with the elves.
Sided a gate. Well, you were born in the place that sided with the elves.
Yeah.
And then he moved you to one of the two remaining kingdoms that had tried to literally cause genocide to the elves.
Oh, okay. So I had that backwards. Okay.
Most specifically, Valdon was at the head of that, as they actually had a border at the time with Famor.
Okay. All right. I don't think there's any major questions that I have right now until I get more information, which could take about a month to get. Um, is there anything you'd like to say to grandfather?
I don't know if there's much point. It's unless he were to take the ring and he'd never.
Believe me?
I don't know if believe is the right word. He'd never actually hear me, sense me. And without that, it's
So I was more or
be more
less
confusing. I feel then helpful.
Oh. Okay. It was more or less me asking if he had something for me to say to him. But
Yeah, he's feels like it would just be cause more confusion than anything.
okay. All right. Well, I'll say goodbye and tell him I'll talk to him soon. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully. It depends on if I get a roll or not.
We will speak again. All right. We will also get through a long rest. I feel most of you would have probably gotten to bed at least midnight, except for Vincent, who will normally not get up until 10 anyway.
I probably would have stayed up as long as possible talking to my father.
Well, you
Until-
had until 10 p.m.
Yeah. So as soon as 10 p.m., then I'd probably head to bed after.
Okay. So I won't bother doing the long rest because I think everybody's already gotten the effects from it from the last time. We're going to call it there. And we will be back in 2 weeks. And hopefully by then Quark will be back. All right. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Alrighty, thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.